Our communities they destroy, but they will be in a world of shit when we unite as one force and deploy. But first we must stop allowing them to brainwash us and brain rape us. First, we must unite as one force and fight against just us, but instead this unjustly justice system got us fighting against just us. When will we wake up and realize that they are killing just us? Growing up, I was well known for my poetry and ability to lyrically bless a mic. But never did I know that from the moment I fell in love with poetry and words that many doors would open up and introduce me to the world of hip-hop as I once knew it. Growing up, I didn't have that many friends, so therefore I had nobody to vent to or talk to. That's when I began to develop a relationship with a blank piece of paper and an ink pen. Every time I would come in from school, I would write to my best friend about my day, my problems, my community struggles, my personal struggles, and much more. Every day I will write all of my secrets out of my poetry books. And I swore that nobody would ever know my secrets. Until one day, I made the mistake of turning in one of my poems as a homework assignment to my teacher, who was a black activist and who hosted many open mic events in the Mert Park area. He read one of my poems and insisted that I participated in the next open mic that him and his wife hosted. So I did. While I was there, I met many teenagers that were in the same boat as I was. Teenagers that had a message and story to tell, but their voices were silenced until they got on stage. That's when everybody heard them. And from the moment of my first open mic, I felt like I was never alone. I felt like I had a voice that many people needed to hear. Everything from the message to my pain, from my hate to my joy. I wanted the world to hear my story. That's when I began to compete in more open mics and more poetry slams. I met new people who introduced me to poetry that I never knew existed. Poetry in form of hip-hop. From the moment I was introduced to Talib Kweli and High Tech, I fell in love with hip-hop music all over again. From the moment I entered high school, my relationship with hip-hop has changed for the better. I stopped competing in poetry contests and I put aside my ink pen, only to build a new relationship with a MIDI keyboard. My friend Jonathan White introduced me to FL Studio. From that moment, I was hooked. In college, I met my boyfriend Christopher Thompson, who introduced me to rappers such as Little Brother, Ninth Wonder, Jean Grey, Cunning Linguistics, and so much more. One thing that stood out to these artists to me were their beats. The beats had so much soul that I could just listen to the instrumental itself and hear a whole song. These instrumentals sent chills up my spine. From the minute that I heard those beats, I told myself that I'm going to master this and become the queen at it, and the world will soon know who KGP is. And let whatever say come true. We're just good for nothing. This is what happens when Curtis Mayfield meets a girl, KGP Beats. What I did here, I cranked up the pitch all the way. Got my sample chopped up here, and this is what we got. Let's go to the other chop that I have. And those are my chops that I have. Let's go to my add-ons. I'm going to skip the kick and snare and the bongos and percussion and all that. We got a lovely tenor sax here. Go ahead and play that for you guys. And I made all of this right here on this bad boy in front of me.
And we also got a nice little flute going on over here. Let me play that for you. And I would be real cold if I just left you guys with that, so I'm just going to go ahead and fill you in on the full beat. Be sure to follow your girl on Twitter at KGP Beats. Get at me on Reverb, SoundCloud, SoundClick, all that other stuff.
Are we gonna stand around this town and let what others say come true? We're just good for nothing. They all think KGP Production.